Today on the Morning Edition, celebrations as the Yukon Quest 750 crowns a new winner and champion. We'll share the sights and sounds from the victory. Plus, a missing snowmachiner has been found and rescued thanks to a shared effort from multiple groups in the search. We'll share what the family is saying after learning the good news. And later, the Lunar New Year is here, but did you know it comes with several deeply ingrained rules? We'll go over them so you can make sure you're not breaking any as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. And it's the year of the horse, which is my year, so.
I believe I'm the year of the snake, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and check.
I didn't know there were rules involved, so I'm interested to hear that story.
I didn't either, so yeah, looking forward to knowing what rules I don't know. We are waking up this morning. We do have some first alert weather conditions across the state for western Alaska as well as into the interior. Now here in South Central, we're waking up to quiet conditions. It is a chilly one this morning with those temperatures dipping down into the single digits and the teens. We're at 14 degrees currently here in Anchorage. Thankfully, winds are on the calmer side. But notice as you head across western Alaska, temperatures have actually been climbing where we are dealing with those blizzard conditions, heavy snowfall, as well as winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. That is driving in temperatures which have warmed anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees compared to this time yesterday. And we are going to see several areas of western Alaska which continue to remain up under blizzard conditions, from Point Hope, Point Lay to Wainwright, where we could see some blowing snow and whiteout conditions down through the Seward Peninsula as well as the Yukon Delta. As that system builds inland, it will lose steam when it comes to those winds, but that heavy snowfall will remain. And you can see those winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. Those have extended eastward into the interior, where we're also expected to see some heavy snowfall starting late tonight and then lasting on into your Wednesday. Now, winds this morning still gusting as you head out towards Kotzebue, up to 60 miles per hour, and of course out towards the open waters of the Bering Sea. We're also favoring some gusty conditions where we're not seeing any of those reports as they are over the open waters, but we're still favoring some winds gusting anywhere from about 50 to 70 miles per hour up and down the west coast, which will continue to lead to those blizzard conditions with those blizzard warnings remaining with us through tomorrow afternoon. So those first alert weather days that we do have, interior snow arrives Wednesday, 5 to 10 inches, western Alaska, heavy snowfall with gusts up to 60 miles per hour, if not some isolated gusts up to 70. And we'll see that again, heavy snowfall likely in the interior arriving into your Wednesday. I'll break both regions down for you as well as that 7-day forecast coming up.
Alaska's premier distance interior sled dog race reached its conclusion, crowning a first-time champ. Alaska's News Source was at the finish line near Pikes Landing in Fairbanks for this full-circle moment for this year's Yukon Quest Alaska champion coming home in first place. That was Fairbanks' own Josie Shelley winning her hometown race in dominant fashion. Last year's runner-up finishing the 750-mile journey in 9 days, 9 hours, and 11 minutes, crossing the line over 100 miles clear of her closest competition. And even despite that loneliness toward the front, for Shelley, this win was for her supporters.
This is our hometown race, and even though, I wasn't born in Fairbanks, Fairbanks is my home, and so it was really neat to see people, I had friends even in Rampart, I had, some friends that happened to just mush out during the race, so I guess I did see the mushers there, but just seeing people, and the excitement in all of the villages was really neat as well.
Meantime, a search for a snowmachiner in western Alaska has concluded with good news as loved ones learned the man has been rescued. Georgina Fernandez connected with his family.
The family describing that call as a sigh of relief as they found out their 31-year-old son was a step closer to coming home.
A happy ending.
31-year-old Grant Akaran was rescued on Monday after he was reported missing on Sunday when he failed to return home from his Saturday snow machining trip. Alaska state troopers say Akaran was picked up on Monday with minor injuries by the Alaska National Guard and brought to Bethel for evaluations. Search efforts for Akaran, a group effort, including over 20 people from St. Mary's, Pilot Station, and Marshall, stepping up to help bring him home as they volunteered to search for him.
Because that's the way of our life. We grew up
helping each other's, and even so they're from a different village, will still step up.
His mother sharing with us a joint family statement saying, "Your dedication, professionalism, and genuine concern for strangers restored my faith in humanity. I know that without your bravery, the outcome of his situation would have been very different." The family telling Alaska's news source that they are thankful that their prayers were heard and everyone that stood beside them assisting in the search.
Everybody that sent prayers through social media, text messages, phone calls, everybody that just pulled together and seen this thing through.
And the family says this experience shows them that no matter how informed you are, things can still go south. Georgiana Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Alaska state senators are now scheduled to vote tomorrow on Mount Edgecombe High School funding, virtually the same bill Governor Mike Dunleavy vetoed last summer. The vote comes weeks after some lawmakers visited the Sitka boarding school and called conditions deplorable, saying they saw rats, oil contamination, and decaying infrastructure. More than 100 students have withdrawn this year. If passed, the bill allows Mount Edgecombe to access state grants from the Regional Educational Attendance Area Fund, known as REAA.
It's a step in the right direction. There's many steps that have to be made on Mount Edgecombe. The next is to meet with the department and talk about a implementation plan to move Edgecombe forward.
It's been a roller coaster ride for some families in the Anchorage School District who last Friday received their schools could close or reorganize. This comes as the district is facing a projected $90 million deficit for next school year. Lauren Maxwell breaks down the proposals ahead of public testimony tonight.
Lake Otis Elementary families thought the fight was over when the school board voted not to close their school last fall. But with the added pressure of a huge deficit, the district is once again recommending the aging school, which is only about half full, close at the end of the school year. Under the recommendation, the building would go to a German immersion charter school. Low enrollment is also a factor in recommending the closure of Fire Lake Elementary in Eagle River for a second time. With about 200 students, the school is also about half full. The plan includes offering the building to Eagle Academy Charter School. The building itself is a key factor in recommending the closure of Campbell STEM Elementary. The district says the aging facility has maintenance issues, which resulted in lost instructional time this year. It wants to declare the building in excess of ASD's needs. And two other big changes, O'Malley Elementary School would lose its neighborhood program and operate solely as an alternative French immersion school. Neighborhood students would transition to Huffman Elementary. And Government Hill Elementary would operate solely as an alternative Spanish immersion school. If approved, students in the neighborhood program would transition to Inlet View Elementary next year. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
ASD says public testimony will be heard at tonight's board meeting starting at 6 p.m. Monday was a very important day as we recognized and honored Elizabeth Peratrovich. Peratrovich was an Alaska Native woman of the Tlingit Nation who was instrumental in the campaign against ending discrimination that plagued the Alaska Territory. And in doing so, she left a permanent mark on Alaska's history years before the civil rights era of the 60s. Despite being citizens, fighting in World War II, and paying taxes, Alaska Natives were discriminated against and restricted on where they could live and attend school. Peratrovich and her husband, Roy, fought for change and eventually witnessed the anti-discrimination bill become law.
Alaska Native peoples didn't have a voice and didn't have a relationship with the government in a way that they could express their culture and also just live in peace. And so I feel like this is why those factors drove Elizabeth Peratrovich.
It makes me really proud as an Indigenous woman to see such a leader before her time, number one as a woman and number one as an Indigenous person, to spearhead something like that. I feel a lot of pride in her. I feel like a lot of Indigenous women and men can look up to her and see that they can fight for their own rights.
On campus at UAA, students made buttons for social causes, participated in a Tlingit Clan exercise, and watched a film on Perattrovich's life. Still ahead on the Morning Edition, Iron Dog is underway and racers are making their way around the Kotzebue Loop. And Iditarod is just around the corner as a familiar name joins the race pool. We'll tell you those details next.
And we are first alerting you to some ongoing changes across the state as blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions, and heavy snowfall spreads across Alaska. I'll have more on that. First at sunrise, 8:35 in Anchorage, 9:59 in Utqiagvik. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back in on this Tuesday morning, and we are looking at some weather in western Alaska. Aaron, we're keeping an eye on that. What's going on over there?
Well, we're seeing some blizzard conditions, of course, that heavy snowfall and some gusty winds that will eventually spread east, where we could see some light snow accumulation in Anchorage and much of South Central as we welcome in our Wednesday. But the greatest impacts here over the next couple of days will be for western Alaska as well as through the interior. Now, into tonight is going to be Norton Sound and the Yukon Delta that's going to see some of the greatest impacts. Those high winds will remain, gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour. You can see southern parts of the Seward Peninsula could see up to a foot of snowfall, while the Yukon Delta could see about 6 to 12 inches of snow accumulation. Then as we welcome in our Wednesday, another round of heavy snowfall will build into the interior. This comes after the weekend where we saw nearly 12 inches of a snowfall accumulation, and we're expecting another 5 to 10 inches as we welcome in our Wednesday. You can see visibility out towards Nome still remains fairly low at times. Winds out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour, and it's warm this morning compared to yesterday where we woke up to those sub-zero values. In fact, temperatures have climbed about 20 plus degrees for a good portion of western Alaska. We're at 28 in Gamble, 26 in Bethel, 2 below in McGrath, 3 degrees in Kotzebue, and then, of course, the Fairbanks in the interior still seeing those sub-zero values. So we've got this active weather out west. We've also got a low that's building out towards Kodiak that did lead to some light snowfall accumulation through the overnight hours. But we're really going to favor areas up and down the west coast with gusts up to 50 to 70 miles per hour. And you can see on the south side of that low, we're pulling in that moisture-rich air as well as those warmer conditions, which have led to those temperatures rising from yesterday into this morning. You can see in Bethel or out towards Nome, we're 30 degrees warmer, 28 degrees warmer in Kotzebue. Bethel is about 15 degrees warmer. So that is driving in warmer conditions. The good news is we're not expecting any significant wintry mix or freezing rain embedded within this. This will primarily be a snow and wind event that's going to continue to build into western Alaska. So heavy snowfall expected through the southern Seward Peninsula coastline and then down through parts of the Yukon Delta and the Kuskokwim Delta coastline. As that shifts east, through the day and into our Wednesday, you can see things quiet down across western Alaska, although we'll see those blizzard conditions continue through at least 3 p.m. tomorrow. And then that snow builds into the interior, parts of South Central, and we'll also begin to see return to some snow, if not a rain-snow mix, for southeast at the latter half of this week. So that's what we can expect to see in terms of that heavy snowfall. And again, we're going to see several inches falling across western and southwest Alaska. The southern Seward Peninsula coastline could see some of the highest snowfall totals. In those higher elevations, we could see the potential for up to 18 inches. But at the sea level, we'll see up to about a foot of snowfall accumulation. And then you can see that heavy snowfall building into the interior, of which we'll break that down for you coming up next. But as far as the winds, you can see from up and down the west coast, we're going to favor those gusty conditions, really watching out towards Point Hope, Point Lay, and Wainwright throughout the day, where we are going to favor some strong gusty winds, which will stick around. So whiteout conditions, blowing and drifting snow will be possible. So we'll stick around with that for the next couple of days. As far as what we are going to see in terms of that 7-day forecast, looks like we've got an Aurora forecast there, which is not accurate, but we'll have that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Winter sports season is in full swing with events going on in every corner of Alaska. We go first to Kotzebue, which is where the leaders of the 2026 Iron Dog Snow Machine race are right now. Casey Boylan and Brian Leslie maintaining a solid first place presence while being closely followed by Tyler Ackelstad and Nick Olstad. In third place, Chris Olds and Ryan Sotosanti are doing their best to keep pace and pressure on the leaders. We'll continue watching and bring you updates throughout the day. And as one classic winter race is in full swing, another is a few weeks away and just got a last-minute high-profile entrant. Fresh off his record 10th Pesco 300 win, Pete Kaiser has officially entered the 2026 Iditarod field. The Bethel Musher is a decorated veteran, winning the 2019 race and finishing in the top 10 9 times in 15 total starts. He joins a field of 37 mushers that begin their journey from Willow to Nome on March 8th, one day after the ceremonial start in Anchorage.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.